What is happening with this weather pattern? I'm meteorologist Gary Lezak with Weather 2020. Let me go in depth and take you through the developing pattern. Another major storm near the East Coast. How will it impact those areas? It is tricky. And a snow drought over the Rockies. Wait till you see a couple of these charts. I'm meteorologist Gary Lezak with Weather 2020, and let's go in depth. All right now we'll take a look. And we'll start right here. Another major storm may be forming near the mid-Atlantic region on this January 28th report. First of all, I want you to look at this. This is the Vail Mountain, Colorado, snow water equivalent. And this black line down here is this year, 2026. Notice how it has been dipping and near the all-time lowest recorded snowfall ever in history. All right, and for the Colorado basin, it is in the basement. Look at that. It is deep now, below the lowest year ever. All right, the lowest ever recorded at this moment, and it's got a lot of ground to take to see if it could hit. And we'll talk about that in a second. But right now it's at the 0 percentile, or the lowest year ever for snow in the Colorado Rockies. The weather pattern is cycling. The LRC is the centerpiece of the big atmospheric puzzle, and there are other influences. We're about to see the La Nina has faded in the last week, all right, conditions, to a real true El Nino is possible. We'll show that to you in a second, by late summer into next winter, possibly, all right? And there's other influences as well. There's AO, though. Look at this. Look at this right here. Let's go to that chart. This is the AO as the pattern began. This is right at the beginning of this year's LRC in the first week of October. It was going positive. Every time you see a dip negative, there's a chance of Arctic air coming down, but it needs to dip to about -4. And notice how it tried to do that in November. A strong cold front came through, turned very cold in December, and then it warmed up. And look, the latest dip. When the AO dips deep negative, there's the -4 to -5 drop that just happened in the last couple of days. It leads to the Arctic blasts and storms getting energized. And that's what we're in right now. And there is a storm about to get energized. That El Nino again, look, when you see this right here, this plus 0.5, okay, as soon as we get 5 3-month averages above this level, it'll be an El Nino. If there are 5 below this level, it'll be a La Nina. We did not have a La Nina, okay? It was not. It's a neutral year. And now look at the surge and the forecast for it to go into fairly strong El Nino territory by late this summer. Something to monitor. What does this mean? A trend towards a big warming of the tropical Pacific Ocean has started. This model shows the rise into positive territory. So what does this mean? It means if this trend continues, then a strong El Nino winter is possible a year from now. And there are many other possible influences we will be discussing in the months ahead. A year from now. I have a couple of friends that have told me, Gary, Colorado's going to suddenly get snowy. No, it won't. All right? I hope there's a couple storms, but the LRC is the centerpiece of the big atmospheric equation, and it is not going to suddenly change. It changes next fall when the new LRC sets up. All right, there are these anchor troughs where storm systems reach their peak strength, anchor ridges where they weaken and are less frequent, and then anchor trough again in the east. All right, so Salt Lake City's had 0.1 inches of snow this winter, and it's likely because of this anchor ridge. And this is going to lead to a heat wave this summer. But what's going on? Look at this. This anchor trough. This is where storms intensify, and there is one heading into that zone. Here it is. I want you to look real closely at this. All right? This is a very interesting map. All right? So what we're looking at here, let me come back up. What we're looking at here is the 500 millibar flow. The river there above us at 500 millibars. The weather pattern is cycling regularly up there, okay? And there is a piece of energy that is about to become a major storm. The AO influence, on target for the LRC. And let's go take a look at this. So I want you to see this. Look closely now. Again. All right. So here is that energy. You see this black dashed line? Where is this, by the way? Here are the Great Lakes. Here's Kansas, Missouri, California, Florida, the East Coast. This is the flow aloft. All right. This is the energy. This is going to swing around. All right. And watch what it does. Okay. This is today. This is Wednesday. Right now. Tonight. Right, this little wave coming through, it broke through the West Coast. It was so weak. It could have been a big storm for the West Coast, but it just zipped on by. That's not a big factor. This is. Watch. That energy becomes, it swings around, I can show you the whole thing, and becomes this major storm near Cape Hatteras. All right? If it's right here, it'll produce major snow and blizzard conditions over parts of the mid-Atlantic states. But what if it's right, watch my little red dot. What if it's right here, okay? Then it might miss much of the East Coast. But if it's right here, oh boy, a major storm. So the next 5-7 days, this is for Sunday, when it forms, so big, tricky forecast for the meteorologists out east. I don't envy them making that forecast. This model, as you can see, does have snow in the Carolinas on the coast and blizzard conditions over the ocean, but it looks like New York gets missed. Boston gets clipped. But again, what if it's slightly farther west? That whole area has a blizzard. Warmer air surging towards the middle part of the country by late this weekend, and colder air coming down over the Gulf of Mexico. So that's the forecast for this Sunday. The outlook for Kansas City's risk window continues. Remember, we've had this in the forecast since December 1st storm, early December. There was the first plowable snow in Kansas City. They had one since a few days ago. And now this part of the pattern, February 5th to 20th, centered right close to Valentine's Day that week. We're expecting a potential impacting storm. So notice that is still in the forecast. All right, so there's a quick update for you. The weather pattern is cycling regularly. Everything is right on schedule. It is so complex. We don't have all the answers. I wish we did. However, over 90% accurate at predicting severe weather outbreaks. The National Severe Storm Symposium, National Storm Symposium is coming into Denver, and I'm going to be speaking at that in about a week from Friday. So I got to put that presentation together. And we're going to make our prediction for the spring. All right, have a good day, everyone. We'll have more plant and growing information for you in the next couple reports. Have a great day. Next update this weekend.